You guys like my hat? I just got it. I just got it in Mexico. And then, of course, we have Spike here. He's a little upset because I just took him away from his Lammy. He's very excited about Lammy. If you hear something snorkeling away down there, it's just Spike. Telling you guys about my travel hacking coup. My latest travel hacking coup. I have a big travel adventure coming up in December. I had to book 6 different flights, and I still have one more to book, or two more flights to book. But I got most of my flights booked this week, all for $70, $70. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did that. I'm going to talk about a travel hacking mistake that I made on this last trip to Mexico. We'll start with what most of you are probably most interested in, the travel hacking. So I am a skier. I love to ski. I'm going to do some pre-season stuff. I have a big trip in December than I planned months and months ago. I'm going to Montana. I booked a huge house. It's like one of these giant ski in, ski out mansions. I booked it last season through my travel partner, my luxury travel partner, Inspirato. If you want more information about that, it's a luxury travel partner where you get significant discounts on just incredible places to stay. I've stayed all over the world in these places, and I love them mostly for my ski trips because I love ski in, ski out access. I love not having to drive or take any sort of transportation when I'm ready to ski. I just want to walk out the door, hop on the mountain, and have my adventure. So I booked a house in Montana. I'll be bringing some friends, some family, and some clients to that little retreat house. I booked a week in Park City in Utah, and I booked a week in Sun Valley in Idaho. And all these are places I'm actually considering moving for ski season. So there's probably not going to be that much snow when I'm there in December. You never know, climate change, there could be a freak storm. There'll be enough to do some condition runnings, but mostly I'm going just to check out the towns to see. I want to have a little mountain adventure after my 2 years here in Los Angeles. I'm ready, I think, to have a full ski season somewhere luxurious and wonderful in the mountains. So that's my latest travel hacking coup. I booked all of those places under the context of my travel pass, which I paid for, a year-long pass. It probably would have cost me like 30 grand just to book all those places when I got it included with my travel pass. So the hotel's already paid for. The trips. So here's how I do travel hacking. There's a bunch of different techniques to it. The ones that I use the most and that I recommend people use, there are 2 requirements that you need. First, this is mostly for US citizens. I'm sorry if they probably don't have in your country the same offers that they give us. They like to throw money at us. They love for us to be in debt here. And second, this you have to have good credit to get these high value offers. So you sign up for the credit cards, you spend a certain amount of money on the credit cards, and then you get like a bonus for spending a certain amount of money. So the ones I used for this trip, I applied for these this year. I've been doing this for years and years. My credit has not suffered any lower than what it needs to be to get like the premium offers. It's always been above 750 throughout my life. So I'm going to show you guys the offers that I use. Let's see if I put this in the Facebook chat, it'll go on through. So this first one is going to be, I think, the Amex Platinum. And then the second one is going to be the Chase Sapphire. So it'll have all the information there where you sign up for the card, you get approved for it, you spend a certain amount of money, you get like a bonus, which you can usually use for like at least 1 round trip first class flights if you look for a really good deal. Normally I like to save all my points for big like European trips, or like, I'm going to Asia next year. I want to go to Japan to go skiing. So normally I have a different stockpile of points that I've been saving for that. But for these trips, I could have paid cash for them. It ended up being about $700 worth of flights. And for me, because I've seen the value of these points go down so much, it was more valuable to me just to like have the points spent and to spend the cash elsewhere. So the first flight, I'm flying from LAX to Big Sky. I booked that by transferring flights from Sapphire to United. I found a good deal on round trip flights. It was 22,000 points. My second trip, flying into Salt Lake City to get to Park City, free transportation to the hotel from there. I booked through Southwest. which I transferred from my Amex points. My third flight, flying into Boise, getting a ride to Sun Valley from there, from the hotel. I booked that through Amex Travel. Normally, I don't recommend booking directly through the website. In this case, it made sense because there were no good flights really to book elsewhere. And if you book through Amex Travel, you get a bunch of perks. So I booked through Amex Travel for 27,000 points. So I spent about 60,000 points for 6 different flights, around $700 a flight. It was about 0.01 per point. Normally in the travel hacking world, we try to get 0.02 or more per point, but you just don't see that value very often anymore. You've really got to hunt for it. So for me, I just wanted to have these trips booked. I didn't want to spend the cash since I'm feeling point rich right now. This is why I tell you guys to start these processes early, because this is about 6 months of waiting, spending money, waiting for these points to come in, getting all the other things lined up so that I can book these trips. Okay, so that's my latest travel hacking coup. That's how I did it. I applied for those 2 credit cards, the Amex Platinum card, which by the way has a very high annual fee, but you get a lot from that fee. You get, if you aren't already signed up for Global Entry or pre-check, it'll pay for you to do that. If you aren't already signed up for Clear, it'll pay for you to do that. That makes it so fast to just move through the airport, so you don't have to show up hours and hours ahead of time. Doesn't take you hours and hours to get out of the airport. You get a bunch of lounge access that pays for itself in terms of just having access to Wi-Fi and a little bit more privacy. Sometimes they have snacks, not often vegan. Usually there's 1 or 2 things that I can eat there. Usually drinks are included. Having access to these lounges makes the travel experience so much more luxurious. It'll pay for part of your cell phone. You'll get reimbursed. You'll get an airline credit if you have to pay for, checking a bag. Or it'll even covers your pet fee. If you have a pet traveling on board with you, a Spike sometimes comes with me. It'll cover any food that you buy, anything that you buy on board the airplane. It'll give you a $200 credit for the year. So even though the annual fee is a lot, you end up getting a lot for it, right? So it really doesn't end up costing maybe $100 unless you use all the deals, in which case you can easily get your money's worth with that annual fee. So I love that Amex Platinum card. And then the Chase Sapphire card, kind of a similar deal where there's a premium on paying for the card, but you get a lot for it, including purchase protection. You buy something, you lose it, it gets stolen, you break it, you're insured to a certain amount if you bought it through the card. So to make this worth it though, I'll remind you, you have to have good credit to apply for these credit cards, and you have to be able to pay off a certain dollar amount per month. Normally you have to spend between $3,000 to $5,000 to get the huge point bonus that's going to make this really worth it for you. So once if you have to be able to pay off $3,000 to $5,000 over the course of a few months, because if you end up paying interest on these purchases, then it's not the great deal just to get the points if you're going to end up paying a premium for them. So that's my latest travel hacking coup. That's the travel hacking advice for you. I do some mentorship around this. I have a course that you can buy from me. I don't advertise it that often. It's not work I love to do. I love to do it for myself. But there are already a lot of resources out there. You can teach yourself how to do this stuff, just like I did. But I would start there with those 2 cards. For me, I made a travel hacking mistake recently on my trip to Mexico. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course, you can't use Apple Pay everywhere in Mexico the way that you can in a lot of places in America. You can't use it everywhere in America either. You can use it a lot of places. I had intended to use my Chase Sapphire card, so I hadn't actually brought the physical card. My Chase Sapphire card and the Amex card, those are great travel cards. Not everywhere takes Amex, so I like to bring 2 different cards, especially traveling internationally. When you put something on the Chase Sapphire card, you're in an international country, you're not going to get charged a fee. And instead, because I didn't bring that card and I had to have a physical card present for a lot of purchases down there, I had to use another Chase card, my Southwest card, and they ended up charging me a fee. It was not that much money. It's under $10. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But that was one of those things where I was like, why didn't I bring the physical card? I'm so spoiled just using my phone for everything. So then that's something to keep in mind for yourself when you travel. I always travel with at least 3 cards. I have a debit card to account I only use for ATM withdrawals. I don't keep very much cash in there. It reimburses me for ATM fees and doesn't charge me any sort of foreign transaction fee. That's through USAA. I travel with some sort of Visa or MasterCard, since those are accepted everywhere they accept cards. And then I travel with an Amex as a backup. I prefer to use the Amex. So that's my little travel hacking mistake, a very cheap mistake to have made. I probably won't make it again. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to those of you who are joining after the fact. Let me know what resonates with you in the comments. Let me know what you picked up, what you learned from this edition of Morgan going live in her Facebook group. I'm grateful you're here. Spike is squeaking goodbye. It's Friday. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. Bye.